It looks like the feud between Donald Trump and Paul Ryan is only escalating. Trump, he's turning off the GOP elite, but the question is, what about those registered Republicans? Will they also turn against the Donald? Then the Donald is already taking the low road against Hillary Clinton. The question is, what's she going to do about it? She's going to sit back and hope he implodes here, or will she go head-to-head with him with those personal attacks? Also, the tell-all book that gives the inside scoop on Andrew Cuomo, Bill de Blasio, and a whole lot of other big-name Democrats. It's written by former public advocate Mark Green, and he's here to talk about it. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thanks for tuning in this hour. Well, tonight, if you'll indulge me, at least off the top, I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk about a plague I believe that's infecting our politics, our culture, and even our national outlook. Now, a scene of all places in Jerry Maguire with Tom Cruise as the title character at a personal crossroads, I think, speaks to this.
Show me the money! Be the largest black man!
No, not that one, although I could go some places there.
Just had...
Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at hello.
Definitely not that one.
We live in a cynical world. A cynical world.
That's it. Now, I know it's the same guy who jumped on the couch with Oprah, but we do live in a cynical world. Now, a lot of us bear degrees of responsibility. Media, certainly not excluded. It has produced politicians and candidates who pander to our worst fears, talking heads who ascribe ulterior motives from everything, and a new platform in social media that rewards most of those who can tear someone or something fastest with a snarky retort for just good measure. Now, a couple items over the past few days put in context of just how acidic it's really become. This weekend, it was the opening ceremonies for the Invictus Games, bringing international servicemen and women injured in defense of their respective nations, 18 countries in total. And the Games, they are a celebration of the human spirit and a way to both honor those injured servicemen and women, honor their service, and help them get the support that I think we'd all agree they so rightly deserve. Prince Harry, who served in the British military, has been the public face of this project, and by all accounts, behind the scenes and in front of it, has been deeply invested in these veterans' care. In short, this is no photo op by a spoiled prince jetting in from Monaco. Still, to listen to the ever-present internet trolls, that's exactly what's at play here. A royal imposing himself where he was neither invited nor needed. Now, none of this could be farther from the truth, but it speaks to how some see clouds when there is only sunshine. And in a weekend piece in the Times, President Obama, he was interviewed and he brought up a recent conversation he had with White House interns, noting their idealism and motivation. He told them, in effect, to block out the outside negativity and the haters and instead embrace the unbelievable moment in history that we all find ourselves in. Quote, "I'm trying to inoculate them against cynicism, which is a powerful force in our culture. It's what passes for wisdom, being ironic and cynical." President's right. Think about how we treat any big idea that comes out of Washington, albeit the rare ones that do. First, you attack the messenger, his or her competency. Then you go after motivations. Even you question his or her legitimacy. Now, goals used to be things like war on poverty or how about putting a man on the moon. Now it's promises of shutting the government down and making a president a one-termer the very day that he's elected to office. You know, I came across a story in the USA Today from a few years ago, and it proved that we, the people, weren't always this cynical. In 1960, Jack Kennedy, then candidate Kennedy, he traveled to McDowell County. That's in West Virginia. It's home of the coal mines, and it was certainly home to tough economic times. Manufacturing jobs, they were disappearing. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, Kennedy spent hours in the coal mines with the workers. He saw wives line up for surplus government food. He heard about kids who saved their school milk to try and bring home to the younger siblings at the house. He saw the boarded up stores and the homes. And here's the thing, Kennedy came back again. 56 years ago, a Catholic New Englander who wanted to be president, was wildly cheered by Southern Baptists, and he asked them for their votes, saying, and I quote, "Help me and I will help you." Turned out Kennedy got 61% of the vote in a 95% Protestant state, and he went on, as you know, to become president. Kennedy also did another thing that I'm not sure a lot of people remember. He didn't forget. Quote, Kennedy's first executive order as president started a pilot food stamp program, and on May 29, 1961, he sent his Secretary of Agriculture to Welch, West Virginia, to deliver the nation's first food stamps, $95 worth, to Alderson Munsey, an unemployed mine worker with 13 children. To hear the people tell it, for the old-timers still around of McDowell, they believed that finally they had found someone who believed in them, someone who cared about them, and that hope was ripped away in 1963 on that awful day in Dallas. Now fast forward to the present day here. Imagine for a second if a candidate, and I don't care the party, did the same thing that I just told you Kennedy did then. He'd be labeled a panderer, a phony, mugging for the cameras. You know, maybe they'd be right here. Maybe all of JFK's picadillos would have sunk him in the digital age before he even got to West Virginia. But I hope that we haven't gotten so jaded that when the genuine article comes around, and I grant you, you don't see them that often, we don't lump them in with the blowhards and the fearmongers that dominate the airwaves, and instead we listen and, God forbid, believe that we can do better. Optimism is not weakness, and aspiration is not naivete. So let's stop booing from the sidelines or your grandmother's basement and either cheer or help make it better. I'm off my soapbox. All right, coming up next, an unconventional battle over the convention. The Republican nominee, he is fighting with a guy who is chairing the thing. Donald Trump versus Paul Ryan, and things could actually be getting worse.